alright.
Most people think SharkTale is about Will Smith telling a lie and becoming an incredibly successful guy, all while being chased by a mafia shark boss who's actually kinda nice, just to lose everything at the end and learn to be happy with what he has. Well, that's wrong. It's not about that. It's actually about how the top companies control the fish population while the elite fish watch and control everything that happens in and beyond the reef. This, just like all my other theories, is a dark one. But something about this movie was warning us. About what? Possibly warning us about a certain man living on an island.
Subscribe to the Hunky Lee's channel so you can become a Hunky member today.
The absolute best theory I have ever uploaded was the honeybee slave trade theory. However, I find it strange how this movie and that one have so many similar features. One being the talking fish. We know other animals in the bee movies talk, since mosquitoes and cows, even bears talk in that film. This also goes hand in hand with Over the Hedge, and I won't go too far into why this is right now, but trust me, I have a long theory coming out about this, because something in these old DreamWorks movies are incredibly weird. But the movie I'm looking at today has an especially unique theory, because it's really good at hiding the true message about this film. What is that message? Calm down, bro, I'll explain in a bit, but I first need to show you some things for you to truly understand it. In my B-movie theory, I proved a huge company called the Hexagon Group had partnered with the humans to sell honeybee slaves to honey farms in exchange for technology. If you've already watched the B-movie Conspiracy I made, you would know exactly why. But if not, a lot of human media and historical events is copied over from humanity to the bees, like Be Jesus or Be Gandhi.
World. I mean, what about Be Columbus? Be Gandhi? Bejesus!
I think it's kinda similar to what's happening in the SharkTale movie. Even near the start of the film, all these companies are shoved in front of our faces, and they're just close enough for you to recognize what they are in real life. Like this Coke ad, or the Burger King ad way in the background. You know, they go a step further as well, and show us this big bag of Krispy Kremes.
I forgot. I brought you some breakfast.
You didn't? Mm-hmm. Kelpie creams?
Your favorite.
Now I know she said Kelpie creams, but you know what I mean. It's weird because these companies' names and products have been stolen and being sold in the bottom depths of the ocean. This means there are factories making these products with machines, and in order for that to happen, there needs to be engineering fish to make the machines. And in order for that to happen, they would have subjects like civil, mechanical and electrical engineering fish, which means they would have to discover electrical current underwater. That's not happening. Maybe up to the engineering fish if you want to push it. Maybe they're just that smart. But discovering the bulb wouldn't happen in the damn ocean.
Find out what happens when I drop a toaster into Adam's bath.
So this technology and infrastructure came from somewhere or from someone. In the ocean, they use clams as their currency. It's not even real clams, it's just paper they call clams. But paper can't work in the ocean. Plastic paper? Paper that doesn't flip and go away in the ocean, spread apart, I don't know, whatever. But they do have another type of currency, that being pearls. Now you know pearls can range in price, with the most expensive being in the South Sea, which is where SharkTale is based in. We know this thanks to this sign over here above this gup thing, showing how rare these types of pearls are that we see during the film. So obviously companies want to get their hands on this many pearls, because if they did, they would be extremely rich, or more rich than they already are. Well, that's the thing. I believe pearls is what the high fish in society are trading these big companies in exchange for these electrical components and manufacturing. Because look at this place and tell me it's not a mini New York. Like over here it even looks like Brooklyn. That's only the beginning, because so far what I've said isn't even that bad. They're just trading goods between humans and fish. But oh my goodness, it gets darker.
You see, Sykes, it's a fish eat fish world. You either take or you get taken.
It's a fish eat fish world. Now, what he could have meant by that is he's a shark and he eats fish, but I don't think that's what he meant by that. If we look over here, he's just feeding his pet piranhas, completely normal. But what is he feeding them? Large fish chunks. Now, if you didn't know, piranhas only eat small fish. They eat insects, sometimes they eat crustaceans, the small ones. These are pretty large fish chunks. So could they be eating more piranhas? That's crazy. I know that's crazy. There's no way that could happen. Well, in real life, cannibalism is obviously illegal. Of course, that didn't stop some. You know what I mean. But most people don't do that type of stuff. In the ocean, however, they've established a community between different species of fish, where predator fish and normal fish live together, except for sharks. They don't like sharks or squids or octopus, they don't like those ones, but everyone else is fine. However, if we look through the beginning of the film, it's very normal. Oh look, it's coral cola. My goodness. Oh, what a silly fish. It's crying. Oh my goodness. Oh, what's that? Sushi? What the hell? Sushi? Excuse me? Shrimp? Urchin? Sushi? And you can see this isn't just words. There are dead fish pods literally in the case below him, and something even worse is how small these pieces of meat are. You'd think these pieces would be almost as big as him. I can't believe it. They're selling fish, dead fish in the ocean. How is this dude not arrested? Oh my goodness. Like you can see this cannibalism thing has some ground to stand on, and the fact these fish pods are really small could tell us something really, really naughty. Because I think this gets even worse than it just being adult fish he found and killed. Instead, these look more like small baby fish. What does that say about this man? This guy probably went out during the night and kidnapped baby fish to kill them and make them into sushi. Okay, I literally have no proof to support that claim, but okay, let me find some. Alright, I just watched the film again and I found this lady. This lady is called Miss Sanchez, and apparently she has over 800 children.
The mother of 800 tells us how she does it all. But
my question is how and where they are the entire film. We see this lady maybe 4 to 5 times during the film. She contributes literally nothing to the story, like Crazy Kaoru or whatever his name is, Crazy flippin' Mr. Krabs, and not once do we see any of her children. This suggests that she leaves them at home, which is kind of irresponsible, I'm not gonna lie, especially with 800 children. But something just a tiny bit more irresponsible is selling your kids to this man or fish, this fish man. Where else would this Japanese fish get baby fish to make sushi? Who is he even making it for? Well, what if I told you that this man isn't just a Japanese fish? In fact, He isn't even Japanese. Number 1, he can see, so he's not Asian. Number 2, if this fish is Japanese, why is he in the South Sea, probably near Australia? It doesn't make sense, so I don't believe this fish is Japanese. I don't think he would swim from Japan, probably all the way to Australia, just to start his little cannibalism restaurant. It doesn't make sense. And I do think Miss Sanchez is sealing her kids away, because they're only seen once in the entire film. It truly is weird. We even see like her in the bathroom. Where's the kids? How do they even fit in that small apartment? They don't. She probably has like 2 kids because she sold the other 798 to this weird man. But what does this show? It shows there's a market for fish. Not like there isn't law enforcement. There is law. There's like police dolphins going around the reef. That suggests that there's law and order, which also means that there are jails and a legal system. And you have to understand, making a shop like this is like making a shop about selling human body parts. But perhaps these things do exist in real life, and maybe it's in a local pizza shop in Washington DC. Hear me out, yeah. SharkTale was released in 2004 and Pizzagate, from what I hear, was debunked, but it was huge in 2016. But we know these elites in society were snacking on young treats back in 2004, and possibly way before that. I mean, it's not 100% concrete, but come on bro, look at the files and the cold words they use, especially this weird thing. She's a comedian in her own words and is not funny, not just because she's a woman, but she's also gay. That's like a 2 times multiplier on negative laughter for her. But another reason she isn't funny is because of her love for pizza. You know what I mean by pizza. You know exactly what I mean by pizza. If you don't, then you're too young to be seeing this leave. So you know, perhaps not all cases of Pizzagate is true, but some things I say are, whether it be an accident or not. It's similar to what's happening in this movie. What also doesn't help is that we don't see a single elite fish in this film except for Lola. In fact, I'll go into Lola in a bit. She deserves a whole part to herself. She is incredibly suspicious throughout her whole entire viewing. Before the answer to the question I asked at the near start of the theory, the message this movie wanted to give us is a warning to always be cautious of those above us, the elites, because sometimes up in the big city you'll see some disturbing things. So, how does this all connect with each other? Because I have discussed 2 different things, being cannibalism and trading pearls for tech and knowledge. These 2 things are quite different. So why even mention the pearl trading thing? Well, it's because I think the owners of these huge fish corporations like Coca-Cola or Kelpie Creams are working for the humans, because there are many instances where an external force has helped push this story further. And I believe this random thing are the humans. But what proof do I have to actually make this even a tiny bit trustworthy? The first time we see something actually caused by a human intervention is when Frankie, this shark over here, is chasing Oscar. This anchor comes from above from nowhere and instantly kills him. That's weird and incredible coincidence that a ship was lowering their anchor in the middle of the South Sea. They're not even close to land. Land's nowhere to be found. So here's what I'm thinking. It wasn't an accident. Instead, I think it was dropped on Frankie on purpose, so to frame his death on Oscar, so he can become the most dangerous fish in the reef and secretly control Oscar and manipulate him while he is most popular. Also, the elites can sell their tuna and pearls to humans. How disgusting. Not only that, but I have literal proof that the humans are recording the fish, like undeniable proof. Let's just play the clip, bro.
He come out of nowhere, this guy. Calls himself the Shark Slayer.
Why is he looking at the camera? You can see the mafia boss's face when this stinky shark looks at the camera, whatever his name is. This guy is staring at the viewer. Why would he need to do that? Why did he do that? Unless he's not staring at us. He's looking at the camera and at the guy filming him. That proves that humans are controlling the story and that they wanted Oscar to survive and make him the most popular guy in school. I mean, in the reef. All this for tuna and pearls. I mean, I understand the pearls, but for tuna as well? Come on, bro. As I mentioned before, Lola deserves her own part because I believe that she is the lead face for this operation. Like, explain to me why she's walking on this random pathway on this random day through Porville when she lives in the big city with a mansion with like 55 sugarfish farmers and comes across the shark slayer killing a shark. That is a mad coincidence. Like, a lot of things happening in this film. Not only that, but she is trained in fighting as well. Like, she's throwing a fish bigger than her around. That takes training, bruv. Lots of training. And not only that, she has connections to Leo, the godfather of the sharks and head mafia boss leader. And somehow this mafia boss guy doesn't think to eat her, showing her importance to the elite. Speaking of the elite, we never see them. Where are they the entire film? Just like Mrs. Sanchez's kids, they're just not there. We hear about them from Oscar, because Oscar talks the entire film about being a somebody. Well, where are they? Well, that's the thing. They're all in hiding. Maybe making a brief cameo on flippin' Katie Current News and going away, perhaps to an island filled with fish kids. So I believe Lola is the face of these elite fish who refuse to come out of their hiding, so they get her to do their bidding and manipulate Oscar in power to do whatever they want, while the elite fish control the population along with Oscar, getting them to do anything they want. And that is the fish surveillance cannibalism theory. Did you enjoy this theory? Do you want more theories? My goal is to make the most insane theories about any movie franchise, preferably in DreamWorks. Maybe if it, preferably animated movies, That is like what I like, animated movies, But I might do one like Finding Jesus, it could happen. Thank you to these comments for commenting on the last video. I really appreciate it. I'll probably do a Kung Fu Panda theory next. Maybe it'll be about, I don't know, a Kung Fu Panda is a terrorist or something, I don't know. But I'm starting a huge project about the DreamWorks movies, Conspiracy. It combines literally all of them, most of their movies, not all of them. I'm not gonna include that one stupid movie about a Kraken. Absolutely not the bad guys too. I am not including that stupid piece of filth. I don't care what is in that movie. I am not including that disgusting, horrible movie. Absolutely horrible. If you want my opinion on why that movie sucks so much, I will happily make a 10-minute rant video on why that movie is so horrible. If you want that, leave a comment. I'll make that theory. Not even theory, statement. I'll make that stupid flipping whatever. I'll make that stupid video. Oh my, I would love to rant about that movie for 10 minutes. Horrible trash movie. Anyway, I'm gonna make like most DreamWorks movies, combine them together. I'll even add Norbit in there, and I don't know, flipping any movie, combine them, kind of like the Pixar theory, but not like it at all, and better. I forgot to mention that. So like, subscribe, and comment. Goodbye.